Look at us busy people go.
Excellent. So
it's still streaming over, redirecting to Facebook. Okay, we're good.
Good morning, lovely people. I come to you live from my vehicle. It is not currently in motion, so please don't worry. I do have a name badge on still. I will remove it. I know who I am. Welcome to Wednesday's Live with Dr. Oz, Loz, and Chelsey Jean. Welcome everybody who is watching this live in the Facebook group, the Boob Camp Facebook group, or if you are here in our Zoom meeting. If you are watching this on replay and this is your first time, we'd love you to engage. So please let us know that you're watching on replay, and you can put a hashtag, the words replay after. You might be watching this on the Loz Life YouTube channel. You might be watching it on Chelsey's Circle group. You might be listening to this on Oz's podcast. But no matter where you're coming from and what time you're coming from, if you're in the future or the past, we love to have you here. And today's topic is how to be healthy even when you're busy, pretty much. So health hacks for busy people. I think it's super important that we have this discussion today, guys, because I don't know about you, but the number of people that I see on a daily basis who, like, how are you? How you been? Oh, I've been busy. Been real busy. And it's like this big capital letter B, like a Superman logo. And they wear it right here. And they walk around with it all day, telling everybody how busy they are, like a big badge of honor that sort of defines their identity as whatever. And the reality is, guys, is normally I like to say, if you are being busy, probably that's the wrong word to use. I ban that word. I hate that word. Maybe you're not being useful. You could be being busy and not being useful, not being productive, and being busy just for the sake of doing stuff. And we want to help debunk some of the myths about being busy and how you can actually simplify ways to totally be healthy and not unhealthy and busy. But we might just start with some introductions, because maybe you're joining us for the first time. I don't normally dress like this. Normally I look like shit. But today I do not. I'm all glammed up. So my name's Loz. I'm a healthy habit coach. And my goal and my mission is to help as many people as I can learn how to eat better, sleep more effectively, breathe with integrity, move mindfully, and be as hydrated as they can, so that their life can become unstoppable and they can develop the confidence, focus, performance, happiness, health, and vitality that they've been looking for, which chances are you're doing all of those things anyway, so you may as well do them all a little bit better. But I will hand over to my comrades here, my untrustworthy sidekick. I've got Chelsey Jean highlighted. She is currently the host for this meeting. So I'll hand you over to Chelsey, and then Chelsey will hand you to Oz.
Hi, everybody. Chelsey Jean here. Look, featuring my Loz earrings. Do you like them, Loz? Like, got some pink.
I know. Inspired.
Look at this. Yes.
Donut.
So I love lymphatics. So anything to do with helping everybody detoxify, identify if the lymphatic system is troubling them. So whether that be puffy around the bra, puffy in the legs, puffy in the face, anywhere that the body is holding on to fluid and inflammation is related to the lymphatic system. And I've helped thousands of women and men get rid of these problems in their body by using my gloves in an easy 2-minute a day sequence. So yeah, teaching all about lymphatic health and detoxification. You're down below me down here, Oz. So yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch.
Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Oz from Vitality. I'm an integrative clinician and a peak performance and a biohacker actually now. I like combining the power of nature and the power of technology to help you reach your peak performance. And I'm here in Queensland as well. And actually, I want to show you, this is the room where I'm going to be showing on Wednesdays. So I have a board here when I can be writing for you a few things. And this is the first word of the day, delegate.
Oh, love it, love it.
We're all in a different location today.
Yeah, yes. We're not having feedback like last time, but Oz is going to have to jump on this earring train, I believe. because you're the one, you're missing out, bro.
Yeah.
You're missing out. I can see you with some big pink Barbie-esque earrings, looking good. I know that your son, will like, yeah, you could, or just do both. I think my headband's got fairy bread on it.
Pink glasses.
Soon, and a pink jacket, and maybe some pink high heels. But
No.
we're all here. We're all here today, guys, as we are every week, just to help you debunk some of the things that are holding you back, and to maybe give you some different perspectives and ways at looking at how you can improve and empower your ability to live a happy, healthy, and long life. We are in a world right now where it's, driven by a lot of fear, and people are scared. People are acutely aware that their health is important, but a lot of people actually don't know what those daily things are. Then they see things in the media about sugar being evil. Sugar's evil. But also they hear fat's bad. They hear about the keto diet. They hear that you have to do half an hour of exercise a day. Then they hear about ice baths and saunas and affirmations and blah, 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 and this new craze and this new device. And we are bombarded with so much information overload that actually becomes really challenging to know even where to start. And when people don't know what to do, they do nothing, right? They actually have analysis paralysis. And so today we want to just give you some really simple strategies that you can start implementing literally like right now to help you become happier and healthier, even if you keep telling everyone how busy you are. But I think Oz, having that beautiful big shiny whiteboard behind you, I reckon you could probably start, because you are super organized today and you know exactly what you're going to be talking about, right? So we might just start with you. And what we like to do in these situations, guys, is just help you learn how to question everything by asking good questions. But we want to offer everybody here wants to offer their own individual perspective based on their clinical practice or their practice with clients and some of the things they've learned. We all have our unique perspective from our modalities that we're in. Yet we all complement each other. We're all friends. We all work together. We all cross-refer. So all of us have valid things that we deal with. So I'd love to start with you, Oz. What's your biggest sort of health hack for anybody that is telling everyone that they are just busy all the time?
Well, there are a few things here I like to recommend. Well, number one is this: delegate. Yeah, it's just what John DeMartini says: do what you like, delegate what you don't like. I don't like doing social media. I don't like doing sending emails. I don't like making phone calls. Well, get someone to do that for you, and that gives you plenty of time. Now, that's just one thing that I'm taking from John DeMartini. But what I take from myself is, again, biohacking is a way to help you optimize your time. We all have a smartphone where you can actually put your alarm every hour, every 2 hours, every 3 hours. For example, you need to drink water and you don't drink water. You don't have time to remember that you have to drink water. Well, it's just easy to put on your alarm, set up your alarm every hour. And you know that every time your alarm is ringing, you have to have a glass of water. That's it. If you put it 8 times, that's your 2 liters of water per day. And you don't have to remember, and you don't have to you can be extremely busy, but you can hear your mobile. Your mobile is with you all the time, 24 hours. Yeah. So that's one way. There are many other ways that I like to recommend people to do this. Again, we have to use technology to help us, not just use it. I always say this to patients: look, you use technology, or you actually make technology or use technology to make your life easier. If you're just using technology, yes, you just have your mobile, your mobile phones, the things. But if you can make your technology or use your technology to make your life easier, then there is where you get the real benefit of doing this. Last time we were talking about this artificial intelligence to write things for you. So in the past, we'll take you, I'm not talking about when we were kids and we have to use the typing thing, and then if you commit a mistake, you have to rewrite everything. Now with computers, you commit a mistake and you just delete and write again. But now with artificial intelligence, you actually don't even have to write anything. And that's, to me, at least 1 hour of my day, at least, if no longer than that, because you have to think You have to start writing. I don't like this. Now this is not sounding good. And if English is not your first language, you commit so many mistakes. It takes you longer than normal. So just what you have, technology is a beautiful way to optimize your time. And the third thing I tell people is priorities. Priorities. It's just incredible how much people don't know what their priority is in life. I'm not telling you priority per day. I say in life. If you have a priority in life, and we talk about, for example, and this is a whole topic that we could talk about, but about your values. And you set your values. And I say, for example, I'm going to work on my business. This is the value I want to work this month. I want to make my business to get to the next level. Well, make sure that you prioritize activities to help that specific value that you have, instead of spending all day on all the other activities that almost sure are just wasting your time. So how do you do that? Again, you check your values. You, depending, everybody's different. Everybody have their own set of values, but could be family, health, business, finances, spirituality, leadership, social life, etc., or studies. Then from there, choose which one is the one that you need to fix this month, and make sure that every day you have an action to get you closer to that specific value. So you prioritize, instead of filling your calendar with all the things. Like I always say, if you don't fill your calendar with important things that you need to, at the beginning of the week, before you even start doing things, it's going to be full of many other things that are not important. Yeah. So fill your calendar with important things before you even start thinking about what are you going to be doing the rest of the week. So if my priority, as I mentioned, is my business, and I know I have to write a post every day, or I have to write a newsletter or a blog, or I have to create a video, or I have to do my finances, whatever I have to do, place orders, put that on your calendar. First thing in the morning, first thing on Monday or Sunday night, boom, 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 boom. And then you can fill the rest with all the other things that you want to do. But make sure that you follow your calendar. And that's my advice.
Yeah, I think that's very, very similar, Oz, to what I teach as well. And it's just so important. So what I just want to follow on a little bit from that is I teach people to have a picture frame and to put themselves in a picture frame of how they want to feel, like maybe in 3 months' time, the person that they want to be. So if that person is a little bit lighter, if that person has more mobility, if that person's blood tests come back a little bit better, if that person is doing more self-care, so whatever is important for that person, how they want to feel, put themselves in that picture frame. And anytime that they're feeling stressed, busy, overwhelmed, it's like, stop. How do I want to feel? What's my priority? This is how I want to feel. And then have some non-negotiables that get you to that picture frame. So my non-negotiables are, no matter what, 5 days a week, I'm going to exercise. No matter what. If it gets to Sunday night at 10 o'clock and I haven't done my 5th day, I'm going to do it. No matter what was one of my non-negotiables. No matter what, I'm going to take my supplements. No matter what. Okay. So that the no matter what's can be, I'm dressing in teal every day. Okay. So no matter what, I'm wearing teal. Like it can be some fun things in there too, but every day have your non-negotiables. You're drinking 8 glasses of water every day. I'm going to drink my 5 meals, small meals, every day. So no matter what the priority is. So then when you come to a difficult situation where you have to choose, when you have to make a decision, it's like, is this decision of turning up at Mad Burger and having a triple whopper double-decker bacon going to get me to my picture frame? No. Go next door to the fish shop and get a piece of grilled fish and salad. Okay, so that's my hacks about having that picture frame, your priority. How do you want to feel? Stop, catch yourself, ask yourself the question, is this getting me closer to my goal, to my picture frame? And then you've got the yes, and then you've got the no. So those non-negotiables I find you setting the rules for yourself, because we all have the same amount of time. Us three, everybody in the world has the same amount of time. And I'm sure you both have people say, how do you do that? How do you fit in, like being a parent, running your own businesses, doing all these events, coming up with all of this amazing content for your socials, sharing with your clients, still having a life, going out and like me going out on the boat? Like, how do you do it? Like, people are astounded. Like, we watch you and like, how do you do this? Because I do the things that I love, and I do delegate the things that I don't as well. So that's how I do it. I've got my non-negotiables. Don't worry. Sometimes you fall in the shit pit. You fall in that shit pit, and that's when I would recommend having a coach that helps you move along and get things going and identifying and catching yourself before you're falling in that shit pit. But yeah, those non-negotiables. Make a plan. Even if you don't know how you want to feel, start with how you don't want to feel. All right. Start with how you don't want to feel and all things you don't want to do anymore. So yeah, Loz, do you agree?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, and start with what you've got, right? Like, I think a lot of people get really caught up, and I love both of the beautiful tips you guys share, because, you know, as a healthy habit coach, that's what I do. All of those things matter. I think people get really fixated on having to try and do everything perfectly, and they go, well, if I can't, then I won't, and I do nothing. And then not having any real clear, actionable ideas about just the minute things. People think you have to take this big leap into becoming amazing and living this amazing life and getting close to the vision, but they don't realize, like, if you actually chunk things down into, like, what can I do right now? This decision I'm about to make, how could I impose some harm minimization strategies on this situation? And delegation is absolutely key. It's very paramount. I think, you know, doing things that you love is important, absolutely. And people get really fixated on doing shit they don't love because it's a chore, and they don't understand that maybe if they delegated that to somebody else, if they're earning, I always say, if the task that you have to do, if somebody can do it, who gets paid less than you per hour, give it to them. If you're going to work out what your value is and what you do in your day and the output that you have, whatever it is that you earn, even if you're going to do it in this is what I'm worth per hour conversation. Okay, I'm worth $35 an hour. Let's say that's the average income, right? Between 30 and 35. Of course, as I'm talking, they're mincing up a tree behind me. Can you hear that?
Hear it. No, we can't hear it. You're good, darling.
Thank God. But, you know, if you can delegate that task to somebody who, you know, they'd love to do it because that's part of what they do, and their work is about quantity, delegate the task. That's why amazing people like virtual assistants exist. We've actually got somebody on this call who
Thank you, Jo.
does some great work. And, you know, you look at, okay, well, if I can earn this much, that means I can pay that person that's going to serve their family, makes it a bit of a circular economy, and then I'm able to live into my superpower, because that person will probably do that thing far more efficiently than I could, even when it's things like social media. I think the big thing that's missing for a lot of people is I'm going to give an example, literally from this morning. So I've just been at a breakfast. It was an industry breakfast. It was 3 hours. So it was bloody cold. Everyone was tired. And when we got there, it was just lots of speakers and there was a lot of sitting. It was 3 hours of sitting. And there was somebody at the table who was actually now a client. Okay, only a few weeks ago has become a client. And their main reason for engaging with Loz Life was for feeling better and wanting to lose a bit of weight and getting their mojo back, right? And so part of that intervention for them, one thing was, let's focus on food right now. I think food is the most important thing that we could start to shift. So when we got there was fruit on the table, and there were croissants, and there were pastries and shit, really, just shit. The fruit was okay. A lot of it was really low carb. It was like diabetic friendly fruit. There's no real substance in the food. We had 3 hours to sit through and a lot to absorb. So then they brought the main breakfast out. Now, I eat primarily low carb. It works well for my body. But on the plate, there was literally, so I had gluten-free meal, that person didn't. I had a gluten-free piece of toast, some busted ass scrambled egg, which had lots of milk and cream in it, probably. 2 little pork little boys, sausages, and what else was there? There was some bacon, and there was 4 cherry tomatoes. That was it. So it wasn't a very balanced meal by my standards at all. There was a lot of processed food on there. There was bread, and there was very minimal nutritionally dense carbohydrates. Now, if I was creating that meal from scratch, I would have certainly had half of my plate being spinach, capsicum, tomato, mushrooms, right? And then I probably would have had maybe a piece of bacon and an egg, like just a normal egg. And I watched this person, right? Just from the education alone that they've had in the last 3 weeks, right? This person didn't eat their bread. They realized they didn't want the bread because it was like a big piece of white bread, like totally unnecessary. They asked their neighbor, excuse me, who was her colleague, would you like my sausages in exchange for me getting your tomatoes? I went, oh, what's happening here, right? So then this client took their sausages away and swapped them for tomatoes, so they increased their intake of starchy carb. Now, that's making the best of a bad situation there, and I felt satisfied. Right? Just a simple little change like that, which on its own, in isolation, doesn't sound like a big change, right? The fact that that particular person now has an awareness of what they're putting in their mouth and didn't mindlessly just eat all of food, and it's not by any means a bad breakfast guide, but with some little education, now imagine if that person now does that every single time they go to eat. They've got an awareness with the food. They understand, okay, well, it's not perfect, but I can manipulate it. And then the other times when they're able to control what it is that's on their plate, they're making good decisions. That's actually all it really takes. It's about making tiny little changes. You know, like, oh my God, I have to eat completely healthy all the time. I have to wake up and have a green smoothie, and I have to have a shot of turmeric, and then I have to do blah, 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 okay? It's all of the things that Chelsey and Oz suggested. And it's really chunking it down to, like, right now in my day, at every opportunity, will this decision take me closer to my goal or further from my goal? I always say that nothing, what do I always say? I forgot what I say.
Nothing
nothing tastes as good as, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. So Kate Moss said nothing tastes as good as skinny feels back in the 90s when that was all in fashion. I've sort of redone that. So yeah, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And so if you really value feeling healthy, nothing's ever going to taste as good as that. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you can't go out and have a burger. It's just, okay, well, how could I make this burger be a little bit more healthy? How could I make this work more for my body? How could I get some more incidental exercise? You know, you're finding at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you are just fanging for an energy hit. And probably you've been incredibly disorganized with your food throughout the day. And so you're just going to eat the first thing that's there. Really simple strategy. Prepare some food in advance. Be organized on a Sunday. Maybe make a beautiful batch of healthy stew with your kids. You know, cut up the veggies, teach them about, like, cutting things up. You're already going to be probably preparing food to some degree if you have kids. Why not make a little more and freeze it? And then, you know, like, through the week, you can just unfreeze it. You can just defrost it. You can eat it. It's there. Give yourself, make it easy, right? Make it easy for yourself. And I think that's a big challenge, is that people, they prioritize work these days and trying to be busy all the time over the things that actually matter. And Oz touched on this. It's a values misalignment. Most of the time, people are looking at their peers. They've got these external influences and expectations on them to perform to a certain level at work. They've got to show up. They have to do the job. They have to hit KPIs. But the reality is, if you're not looking after yourself, that all becomes incredibly difficult. It becomes more difficult if you've had no sleep. It becomes more difficult if you haven't fueled yourself, if you haven't moved enough. And so finding opportunities to just improve those things a little bit. You don't have to go for half an hour to the gym. Just get up and go in the sun and stand on the grass. Maybe, or if you don't have grass because you work in an office in the middle of Brisbane and it's a concrete jungle, just going outside and getting a bit of movement, stretching, feeling good. It's literally better than sitting in an enclosed office with no natural light, with complete junk light that's synthesized from fluorescent bulbs, with zero airflow and recycled air and no trees. And, you know, like that matters, guys. It doesn't have to be hard. I can see Chelsey's raring to be like.
So we're talking about having goals. We're talking about having a picture frame. We're talking about people who want to change. And then when we talk about busy people, sometimes they're just so busy that they don't even really have any existence of wanting to change or wanting to feel better or know that they can feel better, and they can get down and down and down, and then have the busy as an excuse to stop feeling as well. So there's lots of head stuff that comes along with being busy, and you know, like those thoughts, those negative thoughts can take you in a different direction to where we need to go. And then that comes back to our, you know, our gut health and like all of the things. So if you don't have a goal, if you don't have wanting to feel better, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to people who, like, just have an honest conversation with them, and they might say, hey, I used to love it when we used to do this together, or remember when we would do some cooking, or remember when we used to take the kids to the park, or like things like that bring that joy, that fun back in, because you can get in such a habit of just doing the things. It might be because you're the single mum with the 3 kids and just putting food on the table and just you know, trying to get some sleep and trying to do the right things by your family. You are you know, got a lot of things to do, but there is gaps, and finding those 2-minute gaps, finding just that meditation, just a little bit of surrender time, just to breathe and to allow this to actually manifest from a tiny little thing. So that's one end of the extreme. And then the other end is you can always feel better. I believe you can always feel better and more at peace too with your life, and more in alignment. Yeah.
I think people have lost touch. People have just lost touch with what it is that they want. And I think social media has been a real instigator of people feeling not good enough. You know, constant comparison to other people, going, oh, you know, that person. You remember, like, it's like people say this, it's a highlight reel. Like, it's not a real, not real. So, you know, the other thing is, if you are spending a lot of time on social media, noticing yourself getting, you know, put in these destructive thought patterns, that's time that you could be spending doing something for yourself. And it could just be 5 minutes, 1 minute of change per day. And you train every minute, you spend a minute less on social media doing things that aren't that important. Social media, people get really fixated in business as well. I've got to be on social media. You totally do. You can automate some of that stuff. You can delegate it to a VA. In fact, you know, live your life. Do the awesome shit. Do the awesome stuff. Have the lives that people, you know, live the life you want. People will look at you and go like, how are you doing that? You know, and don't do it for that. But be the extraordinary person. There's no reason you can't be extraordinary or even just unstuck. But you do have to make a choice. It is literally all about a choice. Everything is choices. And it's let your heart lead the way, or even go, you know what, like my dad died at 65 from a heart attack and he was 160 kilos. Not real for me. But even if you're not like, I'm not sure what I want my life to look like, like Chelsey said, know what you don't want your life to look like, because that can be a real piece of rocket fuel to help you work out what you do want eventually. It's a bit of a push and it's a bit of pull, but that's, yeah, it all matters, guys. And choose happiness, choose joy, chase it. You deserve to. Life is too short to be average. So Oz wants to say something.
Yeah, I think here one of the biggest problems is, and this is something I get patients coming and saying, hey, can you help my husband, or can you help my sister? And they're having this and that problem. So do they know they have the problem? No. Like, you cannot help someone that doesn't know they need help. If you haven't made conscious that you have a problem, if you haven't made conscious that you're not eating healthy, that you're overweight, that you're really stressed, if you haven't made conscious that, you're not going to look for help to start with. And if you haven't made conscious that, you're not going to actually do anything to change that, because your life is normal. Your life is what it is. Yeah. So that's a difficult thing here, because, and that happened a lot when you are young. Like the younger you are, the more you think that you're like superhero and a Superman that can skip 20 meals, don't sleep. And we have been there. We all have been there. And some of us are still there sometimes. And sometimes somebody comes to you and say, hey, you're not sleeping. And you say, no, I sleep enough. And that's my case. Like my wife comes to me many times, say, you don't sleep, you look like a zombie. And my answer is, no, I'm okay. I can sleep just 3 hours and cope with that. And just things like that, like just like, I think we have to start listening more to people around us and listening to our body and understand that if I feel a little bit tired, it's because I'm doing something to feel tired. If I'm feeling a little bit bloated, it's because I'm doing something to feel a little bit bloated. So that's the way we start trying to make things conscious. But again, if you don't want to make it conscious because work or other things are more important for you, then wait until you feel bad, until you feel really, really, really bad, and then start making the changes. But then it's going to be maybe a little bit late for that. I have this friend of mine that he's overweight, like really overweight. And he called me one day from the hospital saying, hey, now I need to lose weight. I need you to help me to lose weight. And I thought, that's great. When you he was at the hospital because he was having a heart condition. When you come out from the hospital, call me. That's the only condition I put to you. Call me as soon as you get out of the hospital and we start a treatment for you. It's 2.5 years later and I haven't received a call from him. So you get scared, you do, in that moment you want to do things, but then you go back to your routine, you go back to your other values, like I would say your shadow values, and you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing, or that you know, like consciously speaking, you don't know that you shouldn't be doing. But again, I think we all need to have that wow moment to say, okay, now is my day. If I don't change now, things can go wrong. But not many people get that.
No, and sometimes I usually say to people, if you don't have time for health now in your life, then you have to have time for illness later on. You have to, because it's going to happen. It's going to catch up with you. There's always a piper to pay. And, you know, burnout is real. Burnout happens. I've burned out 3 times, been hospitalized twice. And slow learner, right? Sometimes we're slow learners. But it also comes down to the people you surround yourself with. And for a lot of people, like in the situation that you just described, Oz, you know, what can happen sometimes is, you know, maybe you're not sick enough. Maybe you're not overweight enough. Maybe you're not stressed enough. Maybe it's going to take another change for you to actually make a conscious decision that you need to start driving change now. But the biggest thing that I think people lack is connecting themselves with other people. And your circle of influence plays a massive role in your ability to change your habits and to change your life. You become the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. So if you're going to hang around 5 negative, toxic, destructive, complaining, complacent people, you will become the 6th person described like that. If you hang around 5 go-getting, inspiring, health-conscious, activated, happy people, once again, you're going to become the 6th one. And so that is a really key component of having your circle of influence or your support system is one of the critical things that most people miss. They try and do everything on their own. And, you know, each of us have our own communities. In boot camp, where we are screening life here, it is an amazing community. We've got over 11,000 people in here. Everybody thinks they want to get better, right? Every single person is in this community. Ask questions. You know, probably some of the challenges that you're facing that are keeping you in this state of stuckness. There are other people out there who have experienced, I think they might even currently be experiencing that. So maybe they've tried some strategies, maybe you've tried some strategies, maybe you can brainstorm, maybe you can share. Sometimes, you know, having a mentor or a coach, not only is it an accountability conversation, because a lot of the time that's why people hire a coach, like I need motivation, I need accountability. Those things are important as well. But also having inspiration from somebody as well, who might be, you might be on the same path, they're just further along than you. Success leaves clues, guys. Success leaves clues. If you can find somebody who's living an inspiring life, start look at some of the things that they're doing every single day, every single moment. You don't have to copy them, but maybe you could go, oh, okay, so that person, you know, I've noticed that they're outside all the time. Like they get outside quite a bit. They never skip movement in their day, even if it looks different. You know, that person, I can see that they're making good quality, healthy choices. I can see that person surrounding themselves with really happy people. You know, it makes a huge difference, guys. And that can happen when people are in a destructive situation where they decide they want to do something. They're in that pre-contemplated stage of change, but then they go back to and a lot of the time they're out of their normal living situation. The environment's changed. So they might be in a hospital. A doctor's told them you've got to lose weight, and all of a sudden their particular activating system in their head is like pinging off. Problem is, as soon as that person goes back to their life, they leave the environment, they change environments and go back to their organic state around the people that they're hanging around. What then happens? They just go back to those what shadow habits. And it's really important to understand that unless we are being pulled in a positive direction, it is very easy to fall back into old patterns. Old habits die hard. And that's why you need to reach out for support, guys. Do not be scared. People aren't going to judge you, even if it's in private. All of us are here for you to have a chat with. You know, just ask a question. Send us a DM if you don't want to put it in the group. Find us, message us, be like, hey, you said this thing and I was very interested by this. Also, I'm going through this, this, and this. What should I do? Don't be scared. We're real people.
Start
right?
somewhere. Yep.
And just start.
somewhere.
Just start. Start today. Start today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till you've been on the holiday because you're going on a cruise next week to Greece and you're going to eat and drink yourself your body weight, right? Like, start today. Start making changes because it's just about those little tiny awareness moments where you go, oh, actually, okay, I'm on this holiday and I'm eating this food and drinking this wine, but maybe I'm going to make a different choice right now. Maybe not. But just the awareness is the first thing. Being aware that you can choose to be healthy. Well, we could totally harp on about this all day, right? This is like the story of our lives. And we've all been there, guys.
Just one thing, and you say don't wait till Monday, because that's our mentality. On Monday, I'm going to start this. On Monday, and it's Tuesday. So
is it a Western thing? Is it a real Western thing? It's just like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start Monday. You have a big weekend.
Yeah. So my advice
I just wanted to say, Oz and Loz, do you want to share what your non-negotiables are, like some things that you do every day?
Yeah,
we can share that. Yeah, well, Oz, you want to talk about not starting Monday?
No, that's okay. That was just a comment. I was going to say something else, because just one thing I tell my patients is don't wait till Monday, just do it. And that's why I love Nike. Just do it. Don't wait. And every time, the other thing I ask patients to do, there are 3 words I ask people to change or to get rid of their vocabulary. One is try. I try. No, don't try. Just do it. Trying means getting to your brain saying, hey, I can fail. No, don't give your brain the opportunity to make you fail. Don't try, just do it. And my son comes to me when he asks me, are you going to come early today? And I say, I'll try. He say, no, not try, just do it. And he's right. I'm teaching him that, and we have to practice that. That's word number 1. Number 2 is but. Every time you put 2 sentences with a but in the middle, the first sentence becomes a hope. For example, I want to lose weight, but I'm too tired. Well, it's not going to happen the first part of the sentence. I want to get healthier, but it's too complicated. So the first part of the sentence will never become a reality. So get rid of but. And the other one is not. Every time you use not, like you talk in a negative way, you're teaching your brain to work in that way. So anything that you say in a negative way, trying to find the positive way to say it. For example, if you tell to your kid, don't jump into that thing because you can have an accident, instead of saying that, hey, what about if you, instead of jumping there, you jump on this other side? Try to find the positive way, not the negative way. So those are my 3 advices in terms of excuses. Every time we put stories before or behind, like to stop us from doing something, those are the 3 words or the 3 main ways we talk to actually sabotage ourselves and not getting results. Now, getting
And
back
language is important. Language is so important, right? And don't wait to be invited. Don't wait to be invited. Don't wait to be invited either. People wait for somebody to tell them that they got to go do something. Invite yourself to the party, mate.
Yeah.
Invite yourself. If you want to go do some shit, invite yourself.
Yeah. In terms of the non-negotiable things, I have one, like, it depends on what are my values. Like, I work with my values every 3 months. I call it the sprints. That means these 3 months, if I'm working on my health becomes daily activities. I do daily activities for my health. Then I change my non-negotiable things. But for example, my non-negotiable things for the last 3 years have been, I don't work at all Friday 2 p.m. till Monday 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., something like that, because that's my time for my family. That's not negotiable. And I get people asking me if they can come on weekends, because I used to work Saturdays and Sundays till late. Say, no way, no more. I miss a lot of my family's things, like my son growing and the things, so no more. So that's not negotiable. Non-negotiable is my supplements. I take my supplements every day. And non-negotiable is, for example, I call my mom because she's in Mexico. I call my mom every Sunday. That's non-negotiable. I call her on Sunday just to make sure that she's okay. That's part of my values, that's my leadership, part of my values, to show her that I'm here, that I'm here for her. So we have to think that all your values are going to have an impact on your health. Yes, it's not just that business. What does business have to do with your health? Well, a lot, because you stress because of your business. You stress because of your family. You stress because of your money. So all your values have an impact on your health. So all of them have to be, if you're not working on them full time, or like actively speaking, put them as non-negotiable. Put activities on them as non-negotiable, so you don't neglect them in the long term.
That's great. What about you, Chelsey? What are your non-negotiables?
Yeah, so my non-negotiables are, of course, my lymphatic brushing every day with my gloves, and taking my supplements because I'm dealing with I got some blood test results back that I want to get better. And then also, so taking my supplements and moving my body every day. So getting out in the sun every morning, struggling, walking 2 bloody dogs that drive me crazy, that want to sniff everything and pull me one way and the other. And it's bloody stressful, but I do it. I walk the bloody dogs every day, and then getting back into gym. So moving my body, taking my supplements, doing my gloves are my non-negotiables for the next, I would say 2 months, until I'm getting this health, until I create that habit again, because I did exercise every day for most of my life, and I've fallen out of that habit when I had to have my hysterectomy. So now it's getting back into that habit. So then that'll just be easy, and then I can add something else in.
I love that. And, non-negotiables don't have to be hard. You can make it fun. You make your brushing with your gloves fun. You love it, all your videos. And for me, like, non-negotiables are, and this is going to sound really stupid, so non-negotiables are, I don't drink alcohol during the week, other than a Friday night, maybe a Saturday if I'm going to have anything. I just don't. I don't drink on a school night. I don't drink during the day, during the week. I enjoy alcohol with my husband. We don't use it as a reason to get drunk. We use it as a way to bond and connect. So, we have a ritual around alcohol consumption. So I'll have a drink. I know who made the alcohol. I know exactly what's in it. I actually know the person that made the alcohol that I drink. So, I enjoy drinking that. But, I used to drink all the time to medicate myself for mental health issues. So, I had spent many years not drinking and being completely sober as well. I just enjoy connecting with my husband over that. So that's non-negotiable one. I always spend a night, a week, have a drink with my husband. Number 2 is I never wake up with an alarm unless I absolutely have to, like today. I allow my body to dictate to me when it is, and I have the ability to do that because of the way I've engineered my lifestyle. I never use this, is always something I wanted to have, but my sleep is an absolute priority. And for me, it's one of the 5 habits: eating, breathing, sleeping, moving, hydrating. It's the one that has the greatest impact on my well-being and my immune system function. And Oz, and I work together on this. Sleep is very, very important. me ensuring that I'm getting the right amount of sleep. My body always tells me what I need. And so not waking up to an alarm. The last thing I want to do is startle myself and be like, oh, okay. So non-negotiable number 2 is I never wake up to an alarm. So it's probably not what people would expect me to say. And non-negotiable number 3 is I always make sure, and it's sort of 2 non-negotiables in one, that I'm moving enough in the day. Now, enough, once again, it's just being conscious of my movement through the day. I used to be very obsessed with moving a particular way for a particular amount for a particular number of days. I have detached myself from that obsessive, addiction to exercise. I don't call it exercise, I call it movement. So there are some days, example, 2 days ago, I totally was going to the gym at 10 o'clock. But totally at 5 o'clock that afternoon, I had not been in the gym. So the reason is all my clients all cancelled. So I didn't really need to leave the house. And I just decided I would actually rather do some other priorities, like focus on some other priorities. Movement for me is super important. But I then pivoted my perspective. So instead of going to the gym, I modified what I was going to do. And I have a little home workout area. It's not exactly the same as a gym, but I ensured that I did something. And I actually had a great time. And then I finished off with some Zumba on YouTube, and it was heaps fun in my lounge room, dancing like a dag. Then also making sure that I eat enough well. So I move enough and I eat enough of the right foods. It's so ingrained in my behavior now to make conscious decisions about the way that I eat. Drinking enough water is always important, but I can see Chelsey's gym in the background. You got a good bloody gym. Screw you. I have a poxy 3.5 by 3.5 meter room, even if it's that big.
I did, but I knocked out the wall. So we've just knocked out the wall.
Well done to you.
Yeah.
And this is it, like finding opportunities to move. I went for a walk and did that. And so it's not about getting it perfect, guys. It's about working with what you've got and having non-negotiables in place. And it doesn't always have to be, oh, I'm going to make sure I drink enough water, blah, blah, blah. It can be something like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to wake up without an alarm and I'm going to listen to my body. It can take time to develop those non-negotiables, but make sure you've got at least 3. Probably more non-negotiables, the better. And just means you create more structure. And, there are going to be some times when you have to compromise on your non-negotiables at the timing of your non-negotiables. Maybe that you didn't get to do your stuff in the morning, but just making time for that and prioritizing it in the day because it's important. Putting it back later on if you have to. That's the power of non-negotiables, guys. And no matter what, get it done. Yeah. This has been a great chat. Is there anything else that you'd like to contribute, guys?
So just with your non-negotiables, like Oz was saying, just like get them to align with your values. So my values are freedom, transformation, motivation, and education. So everything sort of aligns with. So just I think that's going to take some time for people to have journal, start doing something and find out what your values are, what's going to get you closer to there, because that brings you closer to an inner peace. Then you're not struggling against yourself a lot of the time too. So I think that would have been a great chat about busyness and self-discovery and lots of different ideas. I think we might have lost Loz a little bit there.
You haven't.
No,
you haven't.
she's good.
My phone my manager just tried calling me and now I can't get my bloody
That's okay.
video.
We've got a beautiful picture of you. Okay,
sorry.
Oz, you're good?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful chat.
Just do it, actually.
Thank you so much, guys. And join us in the same time, same place. I don't know why I can't get my friggin' camera back up now. My phone's being stupid. But same time, same place next week. And just do it.
Yes,
Don't
everybody.
Be like Mike. Be like Nike. So same time, same place next week. New topic. We don't know what it is, but if you've got any questions, please ask us in the group. I'm sorry that you can't see me.
That's okay.
I have no idea what's going on here. But yes, just do it. Live life, chase joy, and ciao for now.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. See you. You have to end the meeting.
Okay, so I'm going to find Zoom on here.
Now let's do the behind the scenes.
Stop recording. Record. Stop recording.
And you're going to close the meeting to get the live stream off.
Well, I've turned off Facebook. So, but I can just go close. Okay. See you guys.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Bye.